just think about this for a second, right? I mean, how does this look to other countries, for example? I mean, for all the, failure of the president's way smaller than expected rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma this weekend, and I know he's gotten a lot of grief and he's been very embarrassed about how small that crowd was with 2/3 of the arena sitting empty. But think about it this way. Even for that sad sack of a bad turnout rally in Tulsa, the White House, the president still did manage to get 6,000 people into that indoor space in Tulsa for that event. 6,000 people. And then tonight, he crammed another 3,000 people inside for another campaign event. And however positive or negative or exciting or embarrassing these political events have been for the president, these are still the only indoor events in the country in months in which thousands of people have congregated inside the same space. I mean, think about that. How do we explain that? In terms of our responsibility as a country in the midst of a global worldwide pandemic where countries, even when they isolate themselves from one another, are still interlinked, where any country where this thing is out of control is a risk to every place else on Earth. I mean, how do we explain that? I mean, it's one thing to think about, countries where, whatever the ruler says, people are going to do their own thing. But in this case, think about what the ruler is doing, right? Think about what the occupant of the White House has arranged here. The largest indoor congregate events of the entire coronavirus era. The only mass indoor events being held for any reason anywhere are being held in the United States to celebrate the president's re-election effort. Because that's the one priority thing we need to do as a country. I mean, if we're going to get thousands of people together in places with out-of-control epidemics and overtopped hospitals already, let it be so we can chant "lock her up" or whatever and hear stories from the president about how good he is walking down ramps and how President Obama is a secret Kenyan who should be arrested for treason or whatever. That's the reason we need to start putting thousands of people indoors in the same space with no masks in. This isn't happening anywhere in any industrialized country. It certainly isn't happening anywhere else in the country that has the worst epidemic and the highest death rate on Earth. That's us. But this is what the White House is doing. I mean, it's like this stuff is happening on another planet where a failure to deal with this totally foreseen, preventable public health disaster didn't just kill 121,000 Americans in 16 weeks.